What's up, guys? I'm back with another video for you guys today. So I really want to talk about this real quick. So Fort Carson, right? That's where I'm at. I'm stationed in Fort Carson. So I wanted to do a video like, if anybody, no, actually, let me start that over. When you first come to Carson, right? If you haven't watched my last video, I'm gonna remind you on this one. The elevation here is 6,035 feet. The air is very thin. So if you try to work out, you know what I mean? If you try to work out all that stuff, it's gonna be hard. You're gonna feel more fatigued than you've ever been before, right? Say if you're a guy that works out all the time and you're always pushing yourself, right? It's going to feel a lot harder here because you need to hydrate like nobody's business. Like if you're trying to, I recommend start running as soon as you get here. Start running. I didn't do that and it screwed me. I ain't gonna lie. I'm being honest. I didn't do that when I first got here. I didn't take it serious with the elevation difference. I didn't take anything serious, to be honest. I thought I can work out like normal. I was wrong. I was so wrong. And I think anybody who's been in Fort Carson longer than I have would agree that you just gotta really work out more than you gotta push yourself even harder than you ever been before, because the elevation is gonna affect you in so many ways. It's so easy to get fatigued here, right? So I did a diagnostic AFT before I got here, right? All the other events I passed, but the run time, I was off by like a couple seconds because I got so tired, I got so fatigued. But luckily it was a diagnostic. And then after that, I just been training the whole block leave from December 15th to January 2nd. And I'm still training because they recently just pushed the AFT date later for this month to January 27th. So that gives me more days to train. You feel me? It gives me more days to train. So now I gotta adjust my schedule, my workout schedule a little bit, because now we're back at work. So basically the thing I'm gonna start doing is, like, first thing in the morning, I'm gonna go for a run. You know what I mean? I'm gonna go for a run before I go to work and all that. So that's what I'm gonna do. Of course, people are probably gonna ask, like, how come you don't do PT formation? I'm in group, so it's different. In group, you work out on your own. You don't go into work until 9. So it's different for me compared to a person in a regular unit. You feel me? So we can work out on our own. Me, I like working out on my own. I feel like it's better. You know what I mean? Because at some point you gotta tell yourself mentally, like, you gotta work out. You gotta put the work in. That's just a fact, right? You gotta put the work in. I'm not gonna lie to you. I'm not gonna lie to any of you. That's just the truth, right? Create a workout plan for yourself when you get here, because I promise you, it's gonna be rough for a while, the first few weeks, let alone a month while you're here. Okay, it takes 30 to 60 days to get acclimated to the elevation. You could walk for 30 minutes. You can just jog. Or honestly, if you're gonna go for a run, don't run for speed. Just run to build your cardio up and get your breathing under control, so that way you're not wasting too much energy running. And mind you, what really affects you on the run, on the AFT, is the sprint, drag, carry. We all know this because your legs are cooked. That pushes your legs to the limit. because that's endurance, right? So I just been running not every day, but every 2 days. So I don't, I'm not trying to overdo it and I end up injuring myself in the process. You feel me? And if you want to log your run time, go for it. I do it, but again, I don't run for speed, not until the actual AFT where I actually have to push it, right? You know what I mean? So but the other issue is, say if you go on leave and you leave Colorado, right? And you go back to where you're from that doesn't have elevation, your tolerance to the elevation for Colorado is going to go back down. I will put a clip again right here of what you need to look at before you come, like all the information about Fort Carson that you need to know before you come here as your duty station. And I've been training like a madman for the last 3 weeks. I'm not going to lie. It's rough, but I also know that we're going to get put in environments that we're not used to, and we just need to find a way to adapt the best way possible. But of course, work smarter, not harder, right? Because last thing you want is to end up injuring yourself while you're working out. Still work out properly with proper technique and all that stuff. But if you come to Fort Carson, that elevation change is going to mess with you. You're going to feel more fatigued than ever before. Like, when you come to Fort Carson, you're going to be in reception, and then they're going to have this this big PT thing, right? Mind you, the final workout is the run. And mind you, that's only half a mile. That's half a mile. And I kid you not, I'm good at running, but man, I only ran half a mile and I was nearly dead. It wasn't just me, it was everybody that was with me that day. We were all nearly dead. I'm talking about we're already fatigued, we're tired. I'm like, what's going on? I shouldn't be affected this badly from running only a half mile. But I didn't realize how serious the air was, like how thin it is, and the fact that it's so hard, it was so hard to breathe and all that stuff. That should have been my wake-up call, but at the same time, I was like, I'll get over it, whatever. That's where my mindset was at, and I was completely wrong. So I don't know. Honestly, I think coming here is honestly a good thing, fitness-wise, because when I go back to the States, I'm gonna be booming. I'm gonna be like zooming for sure. I'm pretty sure. But the thing is, I don't want to. I'm kind of nervous to leave. I'm kind of nervous to leave this place at the same time as long as I'm here, because the main thing I'm honestly afraid of is that if I leave here, my tolerance is going to go straight down, and then I have to work all the way back up from scratch. Because again, some of us is not from here. All right? Some of us is not from here. Some people were born here, and this air is natural. It's natural to them. Like, it's completely normal, right? I'm from Maryland. Maryland doesn't have that kind of elevation. I don't live in the mountains, right? So there's a difference between I've seen people here hiking up a mountain where the elevation is much higher. And some of them do that. Some of them hike up and down every day. I find it crazy how people just climb up the hill every single day. I was baffled. I ain't gonna lie. I was so baffled. I was completely in shock. But believe me, I'm just letting y'all know now, if you want to become better runners, run every 2 days as a recommendation. If you want to run every day, that completely on you. You know? I'm just gonna be honest. If you guys come, whoever's coming to Fort Carson, just be aware. I recommend you start running as soon as you get here. Run outside. Do not go on a treadmill. Because to me, personally, a treadmill doesn't do anything. It really doesn't do anything. Running outside is the best way to get better, because treadmill, okay, that's for like more like endurance really, but like running outside is better. So that way, because in an AFT, you're going to run outside. You're not running inside. You're going to run outside. All right. So that's my advice for anybody coming to Fort Carson, or anybody who's still struggling to adapt. I recommend run every 2 days, about a mile or a mile and a half. It doesn't necessarily have to be 2 miles. And trust me, I've run like a mile and a half and whew, I was cooked. You feel me? So, but yeah, if you guys are new to the channel, please subscribe, like, comment. I hope y'all have a very blessed day. Peace.